and welcome to the Vortex Energy Podcast, where we interview people who have a message to help others awaken and reach their ultimate health and spiritual goals. And today we have a special sponsor, peaceandharmony.com, to enjoy fewer family squabbles. And we're going to be talking about this and more harmony at work. Visit peaceandharmonydownload.com to generate your own pocket of peace and harmony and be a true peace hero, just like we are here at Vortex Energy Podcast. So today I have a very special guest, Parchelle Tashi, who I met a few weeks ago in San Diego. And we hit it off right from the very beginning. And I wasn't sure how we could possibly work together. You know, we're in different domains really, but she's come out and has some really awesome information for everyone who's at home with their family 24/7 and their children who are usually off to school for a certain number of hours a day. And now they're back home and they've got parents trying to deal with that. It's not always homeschooling, it's sometimes remote schooling, but how do you deal with all being in the same room, in the same place 24/7? So welcome, Parchelle.
Hey, Barbara, thanks for having me again.
Yeah. So Parchelle Tashi is a former high school math teacher, now entrepreneur and video producer for the past 10 years. Her production company, Fresh Level, built up multiple locations of operations, producing hundreds of videos nationally and internationally for organizations like Sea World Busch Gardens, the Wharton School, and Spectrum. It wasn't until she ended her 28-year-long devoted relationship with the church that Parchelle began to discover who she really is. This experience of freedom has completely transformed her life and the way she serves others today as a conscious video producer, visibility strategist, and coach. Her work is infused with her philosophy on the power of discovering and being true to who you are. She believes this awareness is what makes the grueling process of generating video 10 times more effective, profitable, and enjoyable, no matter the size of your business. So, Parchelle, what we're going to talk about today is how to make family time fun again. Because for some people, I know it's pushing those boundaries to the limits of, might have been fun for the first couple of weeks, but it looks like this might go on for a bit longer than some people are anticipating.
Oh yeah.
Tell us a little bit about what's going on for you and your videography business.
Yeah, so things have definitely changed. We were gearing up to do some events and things like that started to get canceled out as things started to happen. But it's been interesting just to see the pivot, and even with me, what I've had to do is really just sit down and become open, right? And this idea came to me about how to bring families together around making videos, as an activity. And so it's all kind of come full circle in a way, but good overall, right? Good overall, I think, for us.
So tell us a little bit about when you were a teacher, and a lot of people, it's not something they choose to do unless you're really passionate about being a teacher. Let's be honest.
Yes.
So what are some of the tips and strategies in general that you have for parents? How do you deal and handle those family issues now that they're doing this 24/7? What were some of the tips that you used when you were trying to control a classroom?
Yeah, well, certainly, it's funny. I had to learn how to control the classroom, and it had some horrible experiences when I first started out with my student teaching and a lot of different. So I have so many horrific experiences that happened. From one girl having a tantrum, in the middle of the floor, right, to another kid taking the pencil shavings and dumping them in the substitute teacher's bag or something. It's just all kinds of crazy things when it comes to managing a classroom. And one of the things that I would say has worked the best for me, it has been just to build rapport with the students in some way, which basically is about getting to know them, getting to know what makes them tick and things that they're into or what have you. It just helps you to deliver your content and whatever it is you need to teach them much easier because they can relate to that topic. So I found myself often always bridging it to something that they already knew or that they already, would talk about. Maybe something current, some new music artist that's out there or something, just finding a way to stay hip, quote unquote. That's what it feels like. You're just trying to stay hip, because sometimes you can feel pretty old with all this stuff that just goes over your head, you know, but it can benefit you, I think, just to be aware and understanding what's happening in their world. That way you can connect with them, you know, from teaching them something, you know, new, or just trying to connect with them, period.
Well, I think a lot of parents are looking right now for any kind of activity to keep the kids busy that's not doesn't involve pushing and pulling hair and fighting, squabbling. So what I hear you come up with a great solution for that. What do you have in mind here?
Yeah. So with all the technology that is available to us, you know, on our phones, on our computers, we have the ability to make videos. And that idea came to mind as something that could connect families together, or, you know, and give the kids something to do as well, right? So imagining that when we would be assessed as to what we knew and what we had learned, you know, you give a little science project, let's say you have a poster board you put together, or everybody remembers putting together like a volcano or some sort of, like, you know, activity that you had to bring to school, you know, and show and tell or something. So this is, I think, is a new activity that can bridge that even while they're at home right now. So if there's something that they just learned in school, or something that you know that they're really interested in, you can assign them a video project, right, to do something related to a topic they already like, or giving them the freedom to connect what they've learned with something that they like, which only deepens their understanding of that topic, you know, because they're reaching for other points of reference, and then bringing it to something new that they just learned and connecting it. Now they won't forget what they just learned. You know what I mean? So this sort of ability to come together and do something creative, I find to be really beneficial to the kids and with the families, right? Because let's say, for example, a parent assigns the kid an assignment to do, right? And the kid puts together their video with some assistance or what have you, but they have their finished video. Right now, instead of just the kid looking at it by themselves to review it, this could actually be a moment to bring the family together, right? We all have smart TVs and whatever ways that we can do to make it a big deal, you know? Little Susie put together her video. Let's take 10 minutes and watch it together and congratulate her on what she did. That's going to boost confidence. That's going to make her feel good about what she just did. And, you know, and I think will help her to do better the next time. You know what I mean? There's a lot of potential there, even for bringing families together.
Yeah, I really like that idea. And I think it's something that's really practical. I mean, we can talk about awakening and consciousness all we want, but if there's a 7-year-old who's screaming and needs some attention, this is a reality of, as a human here, we need, and as parents, we need to find ways to make this all work, as in the situation that we're in right now. And so how do you make the best of it? So Parchelle, how do people find this new program you've developed?
Yeah, it's at myvideoplaytime.com. And the program is 100% free to learn and to go through. So
that's
anybody
awesome.
Who wants
How do you, as a professional videographer, make this 100% free program? That sounds amazing.
Well, I mean, the information is there. I really wanted to make this available to any family. So to learn how to do it, how to make these videos at home, 100% free, right? We're all trying to figure it out together right now. And if it's something that makes sense, there are other opportunities where you can, you know, pay for a membership or pay for access to our workbook that was developed. So there are stages to it, but to learn how to do it, you know, at home for free and get some ideas, like the program is 100% free.
Yeah, that's awesome. I really congratulate you for bringing this to the planet, because keeping peace and harmony in someone's home, that's essential right now. And it's a new challenge. And most people have not been faced with this ever. Forget about what's happening in New York or somewhere far away. It's happening in our own homes to try to stay awake and aware through this crisis. So I applaud you for bringing something that's going to help families stay together and have fun time together.
Yeah, I think it's possible. I think it's possible, and it's an amazing opportunity that I think we can thank this whole pandemic for. Is at least, you know, at the end, maybe it brings us together.
Yeah. So quick questions for you here, Parchelle. What's the greatest spiritual lesson in all of this for you?
You know, I would say the biggest spiritual lesson for me is that, you know, we can be open and choose happiness, right, and give it to ourselves.
Wow.
We have the choice.
One.
Yeah,
it's a very big one.
Yeah, we have the choice to, you know, with all the things that are going on, We have the choice to be pissed off. And you have every right to be. You have every right to be upset. You have every right to, you know, go and just be to yourself and just cry, whatever. You have every right to that. But one of the biggest lessons for me has been that I can choose what I want to feel right now. I can choose that based on how I see the situation.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, we can choose happiness.
Nice. I like it. And what is consciousness?
Consciousness is the awareness of our life experience. And I think that there are different levels to it and how we do it. It's like kind of going up, you know, and as you go up, you have a different perspective of what's going on and how to see what's going on. It's different if you're right on the ground floor and you're seeing the craziness go on. But as you start to just go up, you know, and up and up and up, you know, it's a different view when you're in the plane, you know?
Yeah, nice. And Parchelle, what is your definition of God?
You know, this is interesting because I don't necessarily feel like you can define God. I do have a mathematical brain, so then I go into to infinity and how that
I forgot about that. Yeah.
You know, we can't necessarily define it, but you know, but if we could, I would definitely say it's the silent, loving space and presence that everything is made up of.
Oh, very nice. And where do you feel most at peace with yourself?
I feel most at peace with myself when I'm really in meditation and when I'm doing something that I love, you know, being fully present in doing it.
Nice. And what does your spiritual practice look like on a daily basis?
My practice usually starts off, you know, as soon as I wake up. I try as soon as I can to become aware of my thinking before it starts to go down, you know, the rabbit hole sometimes. But I definitely jump into gratitude as quickly as I can for the day. And then I do go and have my practice of meditation that I do just about every day. And, you know.
Tell us a little bit about your meditation practice.
So my meditation practice, you mean in terms of like what I actually
What do you like? You like doing guided meditations? What's your TM?
So,
what's your
so after meeting the wonderful Barbara, she challenged me to you know, because I had been doing guided meditations that I listened to on YouTube, and then from there I started to actually recognize that it would, like, I feel like it was getting in the way in some sense. It was like it was distracting me to some extent, and so I started to put that away, and I just would do sounds. You know, I started listening to like nature sounds and would meditate to that. And then talking to you, Barbara, you had challenged me, I think, when we were in San Diego, to just go without. You know, just to sit and to go with whatever's humming around you at that moment. And so I usually go back and forth between those, depending on what I need and what I feel like I need in order to meditate.
Because I think that is a really big step, and I'm really glad you shared that with us today, because a lot of people think there's only one way to meditate, and it's this guy's method, or it's that series on YouTube, or there's one way, and I think there are so many ways, and I think the way to get, one of the paths to get to the highest levels is all from within. So whatever brings you inside in the most relevant way for you at that moment, that's the path. So I really congratulate you for testing it out. And
yes, it's amazing.
Awesome. So what's the spiritual book you've given as a gift most often, Parchelle?
You know, I haven't really given too many spiritual books as gifts. I mean, if I were to say one, it was the Bible, when I was, you know, very active in Christianity in the church. So that was the one book that I would give out. But more recently, I've been suggesting, you know, something on Netflix or some video program to watch online. And so the one that's been my favorite to watch recently is called The Story of God with Morgan Freeman. That's like an amazing series. I highly recommend.
Really? Okay. Yeah, I'm not familiar with that. That sounds awesome. And his voice is so amazing.
Oh, he goes all over the world.
Yeah,
and he goes all over the world. It's just, it's such an amazing, like, just discovery, you know, and a very openness and, you know, connectedness to all faiths, to all ways that people connect with God. It's just beautiful how it was put together.
Nice. And is that on Netflix?
Yes.
All right, I'm gonna look for that. That's funny.
Yes.
Yeah. So, Parchelle, what do you think happens when we die?
I did think about this because I think it's very much contrary to what we're all, definitely fearful of. It's like that's the number one thing that really drives all of us, right? The time when you're gonna go. And I think on the contrary of some sort of pain or whatever that we would feel, I think that it's just going to be very blissful. just, it's going to be extremely blissful, like just that moment. And at that point, I guess it's like we'll be in this non-resistant reality, because it is a reality, just as this is a reality. And on that side, I guess that's what people consider heaven, but no resistance, nothing against whatever feels right and what feels good. And that's what I think happens. We just go to bliss.
Awesome, awesome. And so, Parchelle, what advice would you give someone just starting out on their spiritual path?
I definitely would say to be curious, follow like your own questionings, right? Like be curious about whatever you're curious about. It could be anything. And as you dive deeper and deeper into understanding that, you'll start to, I think, like your spiritual path will unfold, because as you get really deep into something, like there's an awe that you see about it. And it's like, oh, how could this have come about? And, you just become more and more curious. I think that following that and also going within, you'll start to connect with your heart and you'll be able to see, God, and you'll be able to see yourself in this thing that you're so passionate about, right? So I just say just be curious and go within. Don't seek something outside of yourself to understand it, but to be curious and just know that the answer is within yourself,
Nice, very wise words, Parchelle. So how can people find you? What's the best way for them to reach out for you?
ParchelleTashi.com, ParchelleTashi.com.
Fantastic. And tell us again the name of your video program for families with kids.
It's called My Video Playtime, and that website is myvideoplaytime.com.
And I've got a couple last questions for you. You ready? These are just the short answer questions.
Okay.
The world needs
more of us.
I believe in
the good in everything.
Nice. Love is
all that there really is.
Nice. I would like to thank
my parents.
I am ready to forgive
myself.
I want my legacy to be
immeasurable.
Oh, wow, that is really awesome and very powerful. Parchelle, you are an awesome human being, and I'm really honored that we got the chance to meet, and honored that we got the chance to share your message with all the families who might be going a little crazy out there right now. So thank you for all that you do, and I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, Barbara. I'm so glad that we connected and met.